Annoying, isn't it? You and your husband both go on the same weight loss plan. He loses 10 pounds and you lose 2. Seems unfair, doesn't it? I'm Erin Adri, and today we're going to talk about why weight loss is different for women. There's a couple reasons. The first is that we're designed to have a higher fat percentage because of our childbearing responsibilities. Well, that doesn't sound like the right word. That sounds like every woman has to have a child, like it's mandatory. I should say because of the opportunity we have to bear a child. So our body wants to make sure that we're set up in case there's a famine and we're pregnant. So we have to have more fat on us for that, right? And men are designed to have more muscle mass, I guess, because we won't be able to chop wood or fight off predators if we're 9 months pregnant or nursing or caring for a baby. So that's one of the differences. And statistically, up until 8 years old, boys and girls have the same fat percentage, but then it starts to skew towards females being a bit higher by age 15 or so. So statistically, girls have higher percentage body fat. They're supposed to. It's not because they're eating more than the boys are or they're less active or anything. It's because of their hormones. So their bodies want to make sure that they're set up for success for their childbearing years. And then after our childbearing years, as our estrogen drops and our muscle mass declines, it becomes easier and easier to put on weight and harder to take it off, which I call weight loss resistance. And if you become less active over the years and you have less consistent high quality sleep, this is just going to exacerbate the problem and add in elevated insulin levels, unbalanced cortisol, and it's just a recipe for disaster. But the other reason women have a harder time losing weight than men, and perhaps this plays a bigger role, is it's harder for anyone who has dieted and tried to lose weight by reducing the amount of food they eat to lose weight because they've lowered their metabolism. So decreasing the quantity of food you eat slows down your metabolism, as we all well know. Often for men, they haven't done the same damage to their metabolism by crazy dieting as women have. So if a man wants to lose weight, he'll be like, oh, I stopped eating McDonald's and ice cream and I lost 15 pounds. And a woman will be like, I signed up for this super strict weight loss program. And for 6 months, I ate nothing but 5 teeny tiny prepackaged diet chocolate bars and diet brownies per day. And then I had a small supper of chicken and vegetables. And I lost 50 pounds and then stopped the program. And 6 months later, I've gained 65. Well, guess what? It's because you've messed up your hormones and your metabolism. Like there's a price to pay for those calorie restriction programs. And it tends to be women who do them, probably because we're more desperate because of society's pressures on us. But if the women just stopped eating McDonald's and ice cream, she would also lose weight. But often for women, that's not the route we go. We take the more extreme route, don't we? If you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome. And if you're not new, then welcome back. And if you enjoyed this video, could you please click the like button to help YouTube know that this is good content for women over 40 who are looking to lose weight? And it'll share this video with other women who could benefit from it too. And if you like these videos, why don't you click subscribe and you'll be notified when I release a new one. Thanks. It really does help me out. So can I vent about those silly weight loss programs for a minute? It seems pretty obvious to me that the business model is to make you believe that you need their teeny tiny chocolate bars and brownies to both lose weight and maintain weight for the rest of your life. And it seems pretty obvious that you will lose temporary weight only with a plan that has you eat 5 teeny tiny chocolate bars or brownies and then only have 1 small low calorie meal per day. Like it sounds like the worst idea on the planet on the face of it, from what I understand of it. But I also understand their teeny tiny chocolate bars contain whey protein powder and probiotics. But I mean, I'm calling a spade a spade. Like you can sprinkle some flax seeds on top of your French fries. They're still French fries, right? So it's not even diet food. It's tiny chocolate bars and brownies. And they're sweetened with often, I'm not going to name names of like weight loss programs here because I don't want, but often they're sweetened with brown rice syrup, which is about as good for you as corn syrup, which is to say not very, because sugar is 50% fructose, 50% glucose, right? The glucose will cause your blood sugar to spike because that's what enters your bloodstream and that's what can be used for energy. You can burn it off, but it's actually the fructose that's the damaging part of the sugar, especially over the long term. Like that's the part that causes insulin resistance and diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver. Even Alzheimer's, they're learning now, is caused by excess fructose consumption. So those low glycemic sweeteners like brown rice syrup or agave nectar, they're just all fructose and corn syrup. And so fructose doesn't enter your bloodstream at all. So it doesn't raise your blood sugar, but it still needs to be digested, and it's digested in your liver. And too much is really hard for your poor little liver to process all by itself. So it gets overloaded. And then that's what causes all the health conditions that are associated with the poor diet. And most foods stimulate the release of appetite control hormones that tell us when we've had enough to eat. Fructose does not. So you can eat and eat and eat and eat fructose and never feel full. So the worst form of sweetener you can choose is fructose, which includes high fructose corn syrup, which everyone knows is terrible for you. But it also includes agave nectar, which some people think is good for you because it's low glycemic, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar. But like I said, fructose is the most dangerous obesogenic part of sugar. It's the part that causes insulin resistance and diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver. So please never have high fructose corn syrup or agave nectar or brown rice syrup ever again. But on the other hand, some people avoid fructose and just use glucose as a sweetener. Now, that's the other side of the coin. If you've read the books by David Gillespie, he wrote Sweet Poison and a few others. So that's the tactic he uses. Instead of sugar, he says we should sweeten our foods with glucose or dextrose, same thing, which does not cause insulin resistance. It will spike your blood sugar, but it won't cause insulin resistance because it doesn't contain fructose. So I don't think it's a good idea, because if your goal is weight loss, you do need to keep your blood sugar stable and you want to keep your insulin low. But if you're in maintenance, you can play around with this idea. So I bought some dextrose at the bulk store, and I've used it in a few recipes, and it cooks really nicely. It cooks just like sugar. And I give it to my family, and I eat it in maintenance sometimes. I wouldn't give it to a family member who's diabetic because it'll cause a spike. But David Gillespie's point is that it's a short-term effect only. So you won't get insulin resistance from it. It's kind of like mimicking this Japanese diet where they eat tons of rice, which is high glycemic, but the Japanese have very low levels of diabetes and obesity as long as they don't move to America. So the concept is the same, that it's because these are short-term blood sugar spikes that don't have any long-term effects. So as long as you aren't trying to lose weight, as long as you don't have diabetes or insulin resistance, rice is fine and glucose is fine in that same idea. Same with my father-in-law, who eats corn syrup on toast. He doesn't have a weight problem. He doesn't have health conditions caused by sugar, so it's not a huge deal for him. Glucose won't cause problems on its own. It's the fructose that causes those problems, right? So, but that being said, I don't think brown rice syrup or corn syrup or glucose are very good choices for sweeteners when you're trying to lose weight, because what you're trying to do is bring down your insulin levels. I also don't think snacking on anything 5 times a day, even if it's a prepackaged teeny tiny diet brownie, I don't think that's good for your insulin either, because every time you eat, you're bringing your insulin up, right? If I had to choose the worst thing to snack on 5 times a day, it would probably be chocolate bars or brownies. I don't care what they're sweetened with. I don't care if they contain whey protein and probiotics. They're still chocolate bars and brownies, right? Okay, end rant. I just don't like those silly weight loss programs, or any calorie reduction programs for that matter, also known as metabolism destruction programs. So if you're sick and tired of doing weight loss programs that are hard to stick to, don't have enough food, and lead to weight gain as soon as you stop because they're messing up your metabolism, then book a free weight loss call with me. I'll tell you about how I can help you lose weight the healthy way, the non-torture way, and the permanent way, the way that balances your hormones and gets you and your body on the same page when it comes to your weight. I call it Make This Your Year. And I can either get you all the way to your weight loss goal, or you can start with 10 pounds in 6 weeks, which is a great way to get started on your journey. So book a call with me now and we can chat. Go to erinadri.com, pick a time that works for you, and I'd love to see if I can help. Okay, ladies, you got this. I look forward to hearing about your success.